staying single. I believe the Bible teaches that those who are unmarried should remain unmarried, especially if they have the gift of celibacy. Now, I know this is a stark statement, but I ask you to hear me out. In fact, I've been asking audiences to hear me out on this point for many years, and certainly in the last 10 years I have taught on this with conviction. Jesus taught it, Paul taught it, we should teach too, that there's something very good for many people about the decision not to marry. Now you may wonder, well, isn't God's plan, going all the way back to Genesis, that the man needs a wife so he won't be alone? And isn't the purpose of marriage to fill the world, to populate the planet? Well, of course, there's a lot we can say about that. But what is held up as the ideal or the norm is never held up as something that would be without exception. We're not less spiritual if we never marry. We're not necessarily incomplete as persons, though there's a wonderful complementarity between male and female. Otherwise, Jesus made a mistake. And as we always come back to the Lord, we'll see this does make us think and rethink. So Genesis 2 suggests that marriage is the norm, and in human societies, it has been the norm. It remains the norm. But it never says that we sin if we don't follow that norm. There are two passages in the New Testament that we must wrestle with. And one is found in Matthew 19. It's after Jesus challenges his disciples on the sanctity of marriage, the evil of divorce, and the standard is so high that they react in this way. Matthew 19:10. The disciples said to him, "If this is the situation between a husband and a wife, it is better not to marry." Jesus replied, "Not everyone can accept this word, but only whom it has been given. For there are eunuchs who were born that way, and there are eunuchs who have been made eunuchs by others, and there are those who choose to live like eunuchs for the sake of the kingdom of heaven. The one who can accept this should accept it." We don't frequently speak about eunuchs in the modern world, although there are some countries, for example India, where you meet them quite often. But Jesus talks about three kinds of eunuchs. Now, normally a eunuch is, in the ancient world, a male who, at a young age, presumably at birth, has been castrated, and he would operate freely in the palace, have the confidence in the ear of the king. Some would say that there's no danger of him molesting the harem. If a child is born, it will never be his, so there'll never be a battle for succession, and that may be the case as well. But it was so common that in the Old Testament, the word for eunuch, which is saris, is the same as the word for official. They're so similar because so many officials were eunuchs.